Slide your order. You close that door.
All right.
Hey, Ricard. Hey, yeah, okay, yeah. Just let everybody know that's underneath here. Tell them to come in and sit down.
All right, Shalom, Israel. You're on live with the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge. Priest and Captain Soccer Ward down here in Atlanta, holding down the class. Tonight is the opening of the Feast of Purim. It is a memorial service, a day, a celebration that was dedicated during a time in our nation's history where we faced, a very perilous situation, a very life and death time, which is like many that we've experienced in the nation of Israel. And it's important that we remember days like Purim. It's important that we remember the Passover. It's important that we remember the dedication of the temple, or Hanukkah, because it allows us to go back in time and remember the ways that the Most High has delivered us before. And it's important that we remember these times because we are living in a day now which is very much like the days of Purim.
Right.
Very much like the days of the Passover, where we are surrounded by heathens. There's an empire that we are living in, and people that we are living amongst that want to see us utterly destroyed.
Right.
That want to see us killed and destroyed. And the same way the Lord delivered us during the times of Purim, like we're going to read about, our focus and our hope and prayer should be that the Lord will deliver us now in this time that we're in. Everybody understands?
That's right.
So we're going to go through this breakdown tonight. I'm going to try not to take too much time in all the intricacies, but it's some very key and key points that need to be highlighted concerning Purim and why it's so important. Everybody understands?
Right.
Now, I have Priest Amayam here, and I have Priest Zaquan. These brothers are going to help me out. When we get to the Purim and breaking that down, I'm going to have you come on in. All right, Amayam? I'm going to go about it. This is the way I'm going to go about it. So when understanding the Feast of Purim, you want to go to the book of Esther. Everybody understands? The book of Esther, from the first chapter all the way down to the 8th, is where you get the understanding of Purim from. Everybody understands? And so anytime we discuss this holiday and discuss the memorial concerning Purim, you have to start with what took place to set off this chain of events. Everybody understands?
Right.
So we're going to start in the book of Esther, the first chapter. Now, is anybody in here familiar with the Feast of Purim? Raise your hand, even if you're not an officer. Officers, I know y'all know. Sister in the back. Anybody else familiar with the Feast of Purim? All right, sister in the back, then raise your hand. What transpired to set off all the events that caused Purim to be something that we celebrate today?
Some high officer, somebody that
Mm-hmm.
wanted to get everybody, all the Israelites killed.
Mm-hmm.
Trying to stir that up.
Okay, so sister said there was a high officer that wanted to get all the Israelites killed, right? She's correct, but I'm talking about even before that. What happened before that that set off this chain of events involving Israel? The nation of people wanted to see Israel destroyed. Does anybody know? Come on, Zaquan.
Slagia, sir, I believe that, Haman wanted Mordecai to bow down to him.
Even before that.
Even before
Mordecai and Haman, what took place?
It's like you said, when the Israelites was in the desert, and the Amalekites, which is a tribe from Edom, tried to kill us from the back when we were getting water. When Moses was getting water for us.
No, that's not it. That's not what set off what took place during Purim. Anybody else? One more shot. All right, if nobody knows, Purim and everything concerning what we are about to discuss tonight happened because of an evil bitch. Everybody understands? An evil bitch set off the chain of events that we're going to cover tonight. Everybody understands?
Right.
The evil bitch in this case was a woman named Vashti, or Vashti. She was the queen of the Persian Empire. She was married to a king who the Bible calls Ahasuerus, but his name was Xerxes in history.
Right.
Everybody understands? Everything we're going to read tonight is about a woman disobeying her man.
Right.
So I want you all to remember that as we go and read everything that transpired. All of it started because of a woman disobeying her man. So what we're going to do is we're going to start at Esther chapter 1. We are going to go to verse 9. Now, just to give you some background information, This brother Xerxes was a powerful king, right? He ruled in Shushan. Shushan was the place where his palace was in the land of the Persians. He held a great feast. And anybody, when you throw a party, what do? You invite all your friends, right?
Right.
Well, this cat was the king. So all his friends is all the kings and nobles of other countries and other places, right?
Right.
So he had a big party. He invited everybody. He wanted to show off his mansion, show off his wealth, show off his woman. He's showing off everything. That's what we picking up right here. Esther chapter 1, verse 9. Go ahead.
Esther chapter 1, verse 9. Also, Vashti, the queen, made a feast for the women in the royal house, which belonged to King Xerxes.
Right? Ahasuerus.
Ahasuerus.
Now, Vashti, the queen, while the men having their party, she had a women's party. She had to get together for all the ladies, all of the queens, and all of the noble sisters. They came to Vashti's party, right?
Right.
Read on.
Verse 10. On the 7th day, when the heart of the king was merry with wine, he commanded Mahuman, Biztha, Harbona, Bigtha, Abagtha, Zethar, and Carcass, the seven chamberlains that served in the presence of Ahasuerus the king. Verse 11. To bring Ashati the queen before the king with the crown royal, to shew the people and the princess her beauty, for she was fair to look on.
Now, while they in the middle of this party, they having drinks. The drinks is flowing. Everybody having a good time. The king say, hey, man, he called his chamberlains, meaning the men who was his guards. He say, hey, listen, man, I want to show everybody how bad my woman is. Show everybody how beautiful my woman is, man. Go get Vashti so I can show her off and let everybody see how much of a man I am because of how beautiful my woman is.
Right.
That's the first mistake. Everybody understands.
Right.
As a man, your woman is supposed to be a prize to you.
Right.
Your woman is not a prize for you to show off to other men.
That's right.
Everybody understands. This brother's first mistake was he got drunk and wanted to parade his woman around.
Right.
Don't do that out. Everybody understands.
Your
woman and her beauty and her glory is for you, brother.
Right.
You understand?
That's right.
Everything that's her beauty is for you. Now your woman can be glorious in other ways. She can be a sister that's kind and compassionate, a sister that got gifts and abilities and can help out. Parade those things around. Showcase that. But do not parade a woman around because of her beauty. Everybody understands? And the reason why you don't do that is because you run the risk of her doing what we're about to read now. Go ahead.
Verse 13. Then the king...
No, verse 12.
Salakia. Verse 12. But the queen, Vashti, refused to come at the king's commandment by his chamberlains.
Now, she refused. They came and got her. She having a party. They came and said, Vashti, man, the king calling for you. He want to show you all. She said, nah, I'm busy. I'm in the middle of something. I ain't going where he calling me. Read on.
Therefore was the king very wroth, and his anger burned in him.
Now, brothers, can you relate to that? You ever ask your woman to do something and she say, nah, nigga, I ain't coming. Or you try to get her to do something and she say, nah, not right now, you got to wait. Brothers, raise your hand if you like to be told you got to wait by your woman. Raise your hand if you like to be told, nah, nope, it ain't going down by your woman. Well, imagine this cat is the king at his party with all his noble friends, and his woman say, nah, I ain't coming. Damn that. Everybody understands, right? Let's read on.
Verse 13. Then the king said to the wise men, which knew the times, for so was the king's manner towards all that knew law and judgment.
Now drop down and read verse 15.
Verse 15. What shall we do unto the queen Vashti according to the law? Because she hath not performed the commandment of the king Ahasuerus by the chamberlains. Verse 16. And Memucan answered before the king and the princes, Vashti the queen hath not done wrong to the king only, but also to all the princes, and to all the people that are in the provinces of the king Ahasuerus.
Now understand this. These brothers who were his advisors, they are now together with the king saying, man, what are we going to do? Because the queen has not only done an evil thing to the king, she's done an evil thing to everybody.
Right.
Why are they saying this? Anybody? Sisters, brothers, somebody raise your hand if you think you know why the men are involved. Now, the woman disobeyed her husband. That should be her and her husband business, right? But why are these other men saying, what are we going to do about this woman? Come on with it.
Salaki, sir, if I could. The reason why these men got involved, because, of course, this is the king. This is the king's wife. This is the queen. So, you know, if the queen's sitting there disrespecting her man, it's going to be a domino effect. Now they wives is going to follow the queen's example and then disrespect them.
These men understand that their women are looking at this and going to say when they get home, nigga, the king wife don't even obey him. Why should I do what you say to do?
Exactly.
The king don't even wear the pants in his own house. Nigga, you ain't the king. You ain't this and you ain't that.
Right.
If I could, that's why there was no queens in the nation of Israel.
Right.
That's why women don't hold no rank in Israel. A woman is her man's wife, and that is all she is and will ever be. And ladies, that is not a dismissive thing. It is a glory to be your husband's wife. Everybody understands? It is a glory to be your children's mother. It is a glory to be your father's daughter and your mother's daughter and your sister's and brother's sister. It is an amazing thing to be who you are. But a woman in position to set the example for other women is also in a position to destroy other women's households. Everybody understands?
Right. That's right.
Brothers, the way that you deal with your woman and the way that she deals with you is important not only for your household, but it's important for the households of the men who are under you. It is important for the households of the men who are over you. Everybody understands? That's why the scripture says that a man has to be a leader and a ruler and a provider in his household, because if he can't provide for his own house, then how can he provide for the Lord? Everybody, for the house of the Lord. Everybody understands that, right? So these men are taking an interest in the disrespect that this woman has shown to her husband because she's the queen. And they know that her disrespect will trickle down into their houses, and they ain't having that. Maybe the king get drunk and his wife tell him what to do, but not in my house, goddammit. So king, you got to get this together.
Right.
Everybody understand? Let's read on. Esther chapter 1, let's go to verse 17.
Verse 17. For this deed of the queen shall come abroad unto all women, so that they shall despise their husbands in their eyes. And when it shall be reported, the king Ahasuerus commanded Vashti the queen to be brought in before him, but she came not. Verse 18. Likewise shall the ladies of Persia and Media say this day unto all the king's princes, which have heard of the deed of the queen. Thus shall they arise to much contempt and wrath.
Again, what we just covered. These brothers understood that in the psychology of a woman, well, this woman, because she's this man's wife, she's on a higher level.
Right.
Because her man is on a higher level.
Right.
And if she ain't got to obey her man, then why the hell I got to obey you?
Right.
Everybody understands now? Is it right that that's the way it is? Is that the way it should be? Should your woman base her relationship up with you off of what another woman do with her man?
Right.
No, but will she do it?
Yeah.
Yes. So guess what? You got to be in charge of your household, huh?
That's right.
You got to have your woman in line.
That's right.
And if she's not in line, then you got to set the tone for how that's not accepted.
Right.
Everybody understands?
Or
you run the risk of destroying brothers' households because your inability to lead your woman trickles down to their woman. Everybody understand? All right, so let's see what they decide that they're going to do about this woman and the problem that she's created for everybody. Read verse 19.
Verse 19. If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, and let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before the king Ahasuerus, and let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she.
Somebody say it to me in modern terms what they all just said the king should do. Give it to me raw. Give it to me in a rough way that we would say. How would niggas in the streets describe what was just said here? Anybody, somebody.
Slack so if I could.
Other than Zaquan. Young brother. Be mindful as kids in the room if I could, but give it to me. That's too nice. It's too nice. They didn't say you should give her a divorce. All right, read verse 19 again.
Verse 19. If it please the king, let there go a royal commandment from him, And let it be written among the laws of the Persians and the Medes, that it be not altered, that Vashti come no more before the king Assuerus. And let the king give her royal estate unto another that is better than she.
How gone? Huh? Yeah, too nice. Still too nice. I said, how would the cats in the streets say it, man? Oh, give me a movie example of what. That's a movie in my mind right now that I'm thinking about. Now the brother, same young brother.
Kick her to the curb and upgrade your woman.
That's nice. That's good. That's exactly what he said, but he said it so nice. What's the example I'm thinking of? Brother, what's your name again?
Officer Napash.
Officer Napash Kaya. Come on with it, Napash. That's good. That's good. What's the movie I'm thinking about? Anybody? Log on.
Cancel that bitch.
Cancel look like Nino, man. You understand? New Jack City, man. Get it. You got to go, man. Get out of here, man. You understand? Or Scarface. The scene when he just, you know what I'm saying? Scarface in the tub. You ain't nothing. You get rid of her. Well, that's what they said thousands of years ago. You understand? Ain't nothing changed, man. I know we living in a new millennium, new time. But guess what? A lot of times may change, but people don't. You know what I'm saying? We reading about 4,000 years ago. They said, man, you got to cancel that hoe. Sorry, sir. She cannot be allowed to exist, or else my house is going to be a mess, and I ain't letting my house be a mess. You got to cancel this hoe and get a better one. You understand? Also, this is to go to show, you know what I'm saying, that if you got a woman that's out of line, a woman that won't act right, you can always find one that will act right. You can always get one that will be in line. Everybody understands? Now, being righteous men, being in the truth, you ain't got to cancel a woman, but you don't have to deal with a woman who's out of order. You don't have to deal with a woman who's out of line. Everybody understands? You want to know what to help a woman get in line quick? Knowing that you got one who's in line already.